Now on DotaBoom.gg, you don't even have to make a deposit to open cases, because all new users will immediately get 50 cents on their balance, which can be spent on opening cases right away. Open a multicast case and get the chance to grab 4 skins at one go. Open a multi-fix case and you're guaranteed to get 2 skins at once. Thanks to the reputable, provably fair system, you can be 100% sure that the result will be fair. And by the way, at the end of the event, the best 20 players will share all these exclusive sets and arcana items with a total value of over $300. So pause the video right away, use this promo code and get a 5% deposit bonus, a free case, and extra 50 cents for registration. Click the link in the description, activate the promo code, claim your bonuses, and then come back and continue watching this video.
Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be talking about 5 fun and potentially OP builds that you can try in your pubs. I'm going to be going over a couple of key ones, 2 sup builds, 1 offlane build, 1 carry build, and 1 mid build for you guys to try out. And yeah, let's get into it. So the first one is one that I am very passionate about, so I do have a lot to say, and that is Alchemist support, specifically the Ags giving version of this. Now, funny enough, ever since the addition of Dividends, a facet of Alchemist, he's had a very high win rate, especially with this facet. It's 52.7, which is incredibly high, very, very high. And what it does is it gives you GPM when you give Ags. Now, to be fair, I don't even necessarily know if I believe that this is the best facet for support Alch, because of the fact that like seed money just gives you 250 gold, which kind of gives you the ability to have a better lane, which to me is very practical. This hero's laning is not the best. And honestly, the 250 gold just kind of gets you off to a good start and lets you kind of snowball off that good start. And Mixologist is also a great option, more stuns and more shards. So the hero has 3 good facets for support out, but really the big thing here is the Ags giving. Now, I have 2 heroes that I think it's good with, and that is Gyro and Medusa. The reason why I like these heroes is, number 1, it's a lane combo. So let's say you want to play with your friends. You don't have to like do something weird where like you have this Alch pause 4 that's probably going to grief the lane. I did that in a pub recently. And then like some Medusa in the safe lane that has no synergy with like a Warlock that can't even heal the guy, you know, something like that. You can just kind of pick this lane that works. So Alch Gyro, why does it work? Stun, flat cannon, very practical. Stun, rocket barrage, you're going to allow the Gyro to close the gap and get off his rocket barrage. Also, Alch's early laning is really not the best. The hero doesn't have the best base stats, it doesn't trade insanely well. However, the stun plus flat cannon is very practical because flat cannon, really all you need to do is have vision of the enemy pause 4, and it's one of the best trading spells in the game. So the Alch pops a stun, 6 on the pause 4 while it's charging and while he has bonus movement speed. That's how the stun on Alch works. And then you get a bunch of flat hits and you stun them, and it's very good for trading. So the lane just makes a lot of sense. Also, with the Medusa laning, it's just stun into Gorgon's Grasp. It makes a lot of sense, right? Naturally, you want setup for Gorgon's Grasp. If you have that, you're going to deal a lot of damage. You're going to poke him down, and Acid Spray obviously works very well when you have disable into disable. So natural lane, a lot of synergy. Now, what does the Ags do on both of the heroes? Well, first of all, the big difference of Alch Ags giving rather than Aghanim's Blessing, for instance, is that it gives you the stats, right? So usually when you consume an Ags Blessing, you don't get any of the stats. It's why it's an unpurchased item. With Alchemist, when you give someone an Ags, they get the 10 all stats and the HP and mana. And that's massive. For heroes like Gyro and Medusa, they super need it, right? Both of the heroes need the mana, need the HP, right? I mean, Medusa less so on the HP, but it still works, right? But really, for her, the mana, right? It gives a lot of mana, super huge. And the agility is great, right? But these heroes are both frontliners, so they really benefit from the stats. And then really, it's just the timing you hit is incredible. It also allows these heroes to kind of just buy a nasty timing. So let's start with Medusa. If you don't know what her Ags does, it allows her split shot to apply modifiers. And so it works on Mjolnir. It basically makes it where every split shot attack can proc the Maelstrom. It also works on Scotty. It works on Daedalus, on MKB, kind of any of these items that can proc, right? And so it's incredible with Mjolnir. Medusa Mjolnir with Ags is insane. I said a while ago that I thought it would become a build, and it actually did. And I think with Alch Ags, you speed it up even faster, and this hero's ability to fight when it has this Ags plus Mjolnir is incredible. So basically what the Medusa should buy, so she can buy like Tread's Manta, pretty standard, nothing crazy. And then instead of going for like an Ags, you just go Mjolnir. And then when you have this Manta Mjolnir, then you get given an Ags, the timing is, I mean, it's ridiculous. You are beyond the strongest hero in the game. The Alch obviously becomes a little bit weak, but it's a trade-off, you know, that you can play. And then for the Gyrocopter, pretty similar concept. You give this guy this double hit, and really the big thing is that he's just going to be really tanky, and he's just going to hit his timings a lot faster, because instead of having to spend this 4.2k gold on Ags, he's just going to have a BKB. And all of a sudden, instead of having Crystallis Ags, where a lot of magic damage combos kill you, you can just frontline and actually fight and win the fights with Crystallis BKB and Ag stats. So yeah, big fan of these two combos. I recommend giving it a try, and there's a lot more fun ones you can try as well. For instance, I think Quap can be really good too. Okay, next up is Vessel, Witch Doctor, and Vessel NP. I think Vessel is one of the most satisfying items in the game. I've felt that way for a long time. Now, you might hate me for saying this, but when I play Overthrow, which is like Dota's deathmatch, basically, I love buying Vessel. The main reason I like buying it is when you click it on someone who's full HP, it is like a third of their health, just casually. And so I think it's really funny to just click Vessel on people and then just like do nothing. Maybe that's insane, but I don't know. It's just satisfying. And in real Dota, it kind of is the same thing. It's particularly good on a few heroes. The heroes I would recommend is Witch Doctor and Nature's Prophet. There's a lot of heroes that can buy this item. But why are these two? So first of all, Witch Doctor is very high win rate. Both of his facets are very good. To be fair, Cleft Death, which is like the splitting ulti, is technically higher win rate, but it's a lot less fun. This Malpractice is also still within the top 20 of win rates. And if you don't know what it is, basically enemies dying with Maledict on them explode and deal damage to the other people. So basically you want people to take a lot of damage from Maledict and then die near their allies. And then it does so much damage. It's unbelievable. So how do you make sure they die during Maledict? You Vessel them. Let me tell you, they'll probably die, because Vessel, it just does 1 billion damage when they're high HP, and Maledict does damage based on how much damage they've taken. So these items, or this item, Vessel, has natural synergy with Malefice. It just makes sense with the ability. And so yeah, if you want to solo kill people, try Vessel Witch Doctor with max E, with Malefice. With Malefice and the facet Malpractice. And you're gonna see how incredible your impact can be by just literally casting E Vessel on one guy. Like that guy is cooked. If he can't get rid of it, you can't get rid of the E, but you can get rid of the Vessel, he's cooked. And the other hero is Nature's Prophet. Basically, just TPing around the map, clicking Vessel and your shard on people is very satisfying and very high impact. You can be absolutely everywhere on the map, right? So you can kind of just like, go from mid to top to bottom, just kind of terrorizing the map. And if you haven't played it, it's just fun. On top of that, this is a hero that does not need to buy boots, nor does it need mana boots. And so the reason why Vessel is even more popular in NP than other heroes is because you can literally go branch, circlet, blood grenade, support items, Vessel. You can skip the wand, you don't buy boots, you just buy a Vessel. I wouldn't recommend doing that on Witch Doctor. You should at least buy boots, probably raindrops, maybe a wand. NP, just buy the Vessel. And yeah, it just feels very satisfying. It's a good way to just have impact. Vessel to me is just like an impact item. If you don't know what to buy, but your team needs a bit of damage, you just buy a Vessel. All right, next up is Solar Charged Dawnbreaker with Axe. This hero has significantly risen in popularity in the pro scene, and I can see why. It also is really cool to play. So if you don't know why Ags and Solar Charged, the facet, are so strong together, it's because Solar Charged works on Dawnbreaker's ultimate, which is very weird. If you don't know what Solar Charged is, it's when her Luminosity, her passive crit, procs, it lowers the cooldown of her abilities. So basically, if you're farming, because it works on neutrals, if you're farming, you're speeding up your ulti cooldown. And so here's what you do, guys. You buy a small item. Actually, that's not even true. Sometimes people just rush Ags. So sometimes you just buy, like Phase Boots, Soul Ring, Wand, Ags, or Phase Boots, Soul Ring, Blade Mill, or Vlad's, one of these like two items, and then Ags. And then after you use your ult, you just go farm. Now, why is the Ag so good? If you don't know what it does, they changed it. Basically, it makes it where Dawnbreaker comes down almost immediately from her ulti. So it's a very good follow-up chain stun. Very nice in chain stun combos globally, which is really scary. And on top of that, it heals in an AoE afterwards, so it like pulses. So it's like really good just for kind of allowing heroes like Ember Spirit or Quap to just kind of go crazy, go in, make things happen. I personally recommend maybe trying with like something like a Tusk as well, just because this lane is incredibly good, right? Tusk Dawnbreaker, classic lane, just a nice kill combo. But yeah, you just need like any sort of follow-up. And then yeah, after the fight ends, farm. Just farm. And if you do that, you're gonna hit your next item, right? Which can be really anything. It could be a pipe, it can be a blade mail, you can buy a harpoon and try to scale, you can buy Crimson, it's good, Shivas. This hero can buy literally anything. You can try to scale with Shard Deso if you really want to do that. You can buy Radiance and just literally like farm. There's a lot of avenues for this hero, and that's what's kind of fun. You can do whatever you can buy a vessel. You could literally buy Ag's vessel. Totally viable. If like the healing reduction is good in the game, you could totally do that. It makes sense on the hero. You're gonna get charges. So yeah, really, really fun. If you're an offlane player, give it a shot, and just remember, ult farm, ult farm, ult farm. If you do this, you're gonna have incredibly high net worth games and a lot of impact. Okay, next up is Abaddon Quickening with Radiance. Abaddon is a hero that obviously has been good in pubs for a long time. He's been nerfed a lot. However, his facet, the Quickening, is still incredible. Its cooldown reduction on kills and creep deaths. For every creep that dies near Abaddon, his item cooldowns and spell cooldowns get reduced by 0.2 seconds. And for every hero that dies near him, it gets reduced by 6 seconds, which is insane. The cooldown of his shield is 6 seconds. So if someone dies near you, including allies, you just get another shield. So why is this strong, and why do I like it on carry in particular? The reason why I like it on carry in particular is you're probably going to stay alive for a long, long time. So you're going to get an incredible amount of value from Quickening because people are just going to die around you. Now, what items are you trying to min-max with the Quickening? Because it works on items. There's a couple of options, and I'm gonna list them off for now. So first of all, you buy phase boots with like a null talisman and a wand and raindrops. Like you buy your early game mana items. You need the mana items. Don't skip it. Phase boots, null, wand, raindrops. You need these items. And then after that, you're gonna buy your Radiance. And then after Radiance, this is where things get spicy. The most common item is Manta Style. Makes sense. It's just kind of the Radiance item, right? It gives them Radiance. You can farm with them. It applies the E. So typically people buy Manta. But in team fights, you get more mantas. And this is really practical, as Abaddon mantas are literally insane, right? Because of the fact that they apply the E. So they're really, really hard to deal with, and you just get more of them, right? You have to remember, it's like a 35-second cooldown. This is a long cooldown item. So even if, let's say, you don't get too often in a team fight, you're just going to have another set of these to farm, right? Which is great. The next item that people buy is Blink Dagger, right? Which is so good on Abaddon. Number one, because you want to initiate. It's just the frontline hero. Number two, if your ulti goes off, you can't take damage. And so unless you're against some specific matchups, you can just blink out. You're never technically taking damage. That's pretty cool. And then yeah, if you blink in and people die around you, your blink just gets lowered. Sure, it can still get canceled, but it gets lowered, which, again, if you're kiting in and out, frequently you'll get off another one. The item that I personally think is really good is Blade Mail. This hero actually has very bad armor. And so yes, it might feel weird to buy like a 2.2k gold or 2. Whatever the item's cost is on a carry, but lower cooldown Blade Mail from Quickening is insanely high value. So I really like the idea of like Radiance, Manta Style, Blink, and then a late Blade Mail. Just is incredible with the Quickening. The last item that you can buy that is hyper greedy is Midas. It does work, and people do it. Sometimes first item if their game is bad. Like you can go Brown Boots Midas, and it's comically decent. So worth giving it a shot. Okay, and the last build that you guys can try is Bondage Quap. Yeah, it's just, I mean, the amount of damage and the survivability on Bondage Quap is ridiculous. If you don't know what this facet does, so basically what Bondage does is you return spell damage back to enemies, right? So if they deal damage to you, you return it to them. And for some reason, it has this weird synergy with Blade Mail. Basically, you want to get in people's face, and a big part of that is also your innate succubus, which is all sources of spell lifesteal work on pure damage, so it works on your ult. But more importantly, the lifesteal gets more value the closer you are to enemies, and it's very significant. If you're 800 units away, it's only 2% lifesteal. If you're 300 units, so if you're like very close to them, you get 14% bonus lifesteal, right? So basically what the hero wants to do is get in and get on top of people and then pop Blade Mail, right? Because of Succubus and Bondage. And it's really, really hard to deal with, right? You just get in people's face, you dagger them, the dagger also heals you a bit because of Succubus, not a lot, but a little bit. And you kind of just let Bondage get to work, right? If the enemies nuke you, it reflects them, Blade Mail also reflects to them, they just kill themselves, right? And you're healing from it because of Succubus. So yeah, it's just nasty. The next item that you buy is typically Sanjin Kaya. This hero needs mana, it wants HP, so Sanjin Kaya, sometimes BKB. And then if you want to really deal a lot of damage, basically how the hero progresses in terms of damage is its level 20 talent, which is 100 Scream of Pain damage, plus Axe. What Quap Axe does is it makes your dagger AoE. And the big thing is if the dagger ends, or more practically is reapplied by Quap, it screams and it hits the target, right? The target that's it's applied to. It's been buffed like heavily over time. And so essentially if you're just daggering people, they're just screaming and screaming and screaming. And with this 20 talent, it's so much damage. Like, Queen of Pain, level 20 Ags, Kaya Sanj can 1v9 fights. Like, straight up, this hero's potential impact is beyond high. On top of that, you have this nasty strength talent at 10. You have a very solid damage talent at 15. The Stream of Pain, as I was mentioning, at 20 is great with the Ags. Some people take Sonic Wave cooldown, which is fine too. Blink cooldown at 25 is not bad, but Sonic Wave damage scaling at the late game is really, really nice. So yeah, it's just, if you want to carry games, you can try this co-op and like just farm quite a bit, especially if you're playing at mid. Farm quite a bit, and then eventually get that Blade Mail, get your treads, Magic Wand, and work into a Blade Mail. Kind of just get in there with String Treads, pop your Blade Mail, and you'll see how much damage you're reflecting, how much, you know, you kind of just do to the enemy when you blink in with this Blade Mail on. It's very hard to deal with, especially when you get the Strength talent. Right? It's just a bit too much health for a lot of comps to deal with. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!